Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. My guest, Mariquita Solis, is here, and I'm so super excited that she's decided to join us today and have an amazing conversation. So she's going to tell you a little bit about who she is and what it is that she does. Mariquita, take it away.
Thank you, Tammi. I'm excited to be here. Yes, I'm Mariquita, and I'm a joyful relationship coach. I really help ladies step into their feminine energy to create the relationships they deserve and to break those toxic patterns that are holding them back and to shift, into their divine power center, listening to themselves and really full awareness of how and what they're attracting and really leveling up into attracting something better for them in their relationship and their lives. And it's just such a joy to work with women, to really show them their divine source of wisdom, to tap into that. I mean, nothing makes me happier than that. So
that is powerful. That's powerful. All right, so we're going to get into it. So how did you get to that place? I mean, what brought you to the place where you knew that you had a deeper calling to help women in this arena?
Well, I was for years. I started out, I guess, as a teenager, and started this pattern of undervaluing myself. One of my first boyfriends was he cheated on me multiple times, and out of desperation, I was trying to create this love affair. This big love for myself when I was 15, 16 years old, and I didn't realize, that I was just letting go of who I was and pretending that it was okay to be cheated on. And so that whole pattern of not honoring myself just continued throughout the years and accepting so much less than I deserved. And I was creating this in my life by allowing these toxic behaviors to really, it was a silent agreement that I was saying it was okay because I never spoke up for myself, because I didn't know that there was a place inside of me that was powerful. And so, yes, and this went on until my 40s, always really getting into relationships too quickly, attracting the same kind of people that didn't, the guys that didn't value me. And I was great at creating this. And I just wasn't aware that there was another way to create, a better way that was more serving to my soul and to my heart. I didn't realize I needed to protect my heart, that I was just throwing her, just right into the bushes and, letting her get trampled on. So that now I became, I had enough finally of being left to the side and just begging and pleading and creating from this place of desperation instead of creating from power. I didn't know what my values were in life. I didn't have any idea. I just would say, okay, well, I'm going to go create this amazing, love, this really honorable love. And I did it with these horrible behaviors that were just like desperate, needy, overgiving. And so that's what I got, relationships that weren't authentic. But now, now from a place of power, creating the relationships I have today in all areas of my life are authentic. And I'm able to see clearly what doesn't serve me and to step away from it and to take responsibility to say to the person, like, I wasn't honest with you. I made myself out to be someone who I wasn't. And, now it's time for me to step up and be honest. And this is really who I am. And how can we make our relationship better? Because I want to up level our relationship, and I'm taking responsibility first for not stepping up to the plate like I should have. So that's, a big shift.
Okay. So what was the straw that broke the camel's back? What was the thing that made you know or even made you see that those were patterns that you were walking in, that you had been walking in for years and years and years? Because a lot of times people have a catalyst, and so what I'm asking is, what was the catalyst that made you say, okay, enough is enough. I need to, find me. I need to get some education. What was the catalyst?
Well, I felt like there was a special guy, and I thought, well, this is really the one. He was just really made me so happy. He had a nice house, and he seemed very successful and in all areas, right? But I knew that deep down inside that I wasn't a good match for him, but I just forgot. I just ignored all that. I had my blinders on. And
Yes.
so, and then he cheated on me, and I left, and then I took him back, and then the relationship just didn't have it. It didn't have those core values, and so then we ended it again, and I just was just so devastated. I thought, I can't go on anymore like this. I mean, here I am in my 40s, and I'm never going to find love, and I just hated myself. I beat myself up every night. I would stay awake all night long thinking I blew it with this perfect guy. If I had only pretended, if I only was
A
better at
little more.
pretending, yes, then he would have never known who I really was, and we could
Yes.
be together.
Yes.
And I just didn't even know. I didn't even know how to have compassion for myself. So out of desperation, I was just looking up something on self-compassion, and I got the book, Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff, and that's where it started. Um, and during that week, I remember walking by the TV set, and I heard a voice saying, "Oh, well, you're a child of God, and today is your day." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." You know what? I thought I was at the edge of desperation. I heard this beautiful voice, and it was Joel Osteen. And I didn't know who he was or why the TV was on, but I know that was like heaven sent. Thank God someone actually thinks that I'm worthy, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that was very powerful. In that same week, I remember reading an article that was saying, like, I don't know where it was, but it was just saying, why are you treating yourself the way that they treated you? And I thought, you're
Yeah.
right. Why am I treating myself? My ex-boyfriend is gone, who didn't care about me and treated me so terribly. Now I've just taken on that role. Why am I doing that same thing? So those like
Yes.
those three powerful events really shifted, that Joel Osteen, and reading that, and then the self-compassion book coming. And then I really up leveled by just reading all night long. Instead of staying up crying, I was staying up reading and trying to better myself. And I was listening to Les Brown and how he would talk about, those voices in your head, and he would tell them to shut up.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And he's such a powerful speaker. So,
I
I
love him.
realized that there's so many people out there that want to help us. And so I was able to drudge something up. And, as the years went on and I really came back into who I really was, I thought, I really want to help others. And what's the best way to serve? And so I started taking coaching classes, and with a gentleman here in Atlanta. And so recently I shifted into feminine energy and feminine empowerment coaching and classes, and that, which has been wow, it's been so inspirational to allow and to flow in the gentleness, a whole nother system. And so anyway, I could just talk forever on that. It's so exciting,
That's fine, because that is why we're here. You can see your passion, and the thing is it's like what I found is, in interviewing so many people, I was just thinking, it's like something that you've been through is the thing that you're most passionate to help other people with, and it's like the interview that you and I did, that was fabulous, because that was just like so eye-opening, probably for a lot of women, that just like you keep choosing the same partner, the same man, same woman that's treating you bad, and each one maybe a little worse, or might be the same, but they're the same, it's the same energy, and you're choosing that person, but you don't even realize that it's a pattern. You could just interchange the names, and
yeah.
that's powerful. I thought that was so amazing. So in the feminine empowerment, how have you been able to help women to actually learn how to stand up for themselves and learn how to step into that feminine? Because I think we talked before about women that are in corporate, and that they've had to step into that masculine power for so long, or, I think I shared with you in my case, my ex-husband he was not a provider, and he just didn't have that in him. And so I had to step into that masculine, and I find I had to really begin to merge and blend the feminine, and allow it to come forth so that I could be in that place of allowing in order to be able to do the things that I feel called to do. So when you work with women that are, say, in the corporate arena, and they've had to step in that place where they just step up and do the masculine, and they're not, they're always in that push energy, and they're not in that place of allowing, where, they are stepping back and just, realizing and looking. And to me, it's almost like they're not stopping and smelling the flowers. They're not realizing that, there's a whole world out there. They're just like a horse with the blinders on. So how do you help those women to be able to step into that feminine place that we all need to step into? Because, and I have to say this as well, there's masculine and feminine in everybody. It's not just a man woman thing, but it's like a yin and a yang. There's a masculine, there's a feminine, and we all have it. So how do you help women that are out of balance in that area, where they're just, jumping in the masculine and they're push, but the feminine energy is calling to them?
Well, I think it's about getting clear, really stepping up to allowing feelings and feeling, and just really tuning into what you're feeling, instead of really kind of listening to that mind, and that linear thing. But what am I feeling, and what are my needs in this moment? And what can I allow into my life? I mean, what is the growth potential here? If I just allow and say, let everything be what it is, I'm not going to have some tight structure for the dating process that's going to hold me in this fixed loop of if I don't have this guy doesn't call me on by this time, then everything's over. Then we go to plan B, then we go to plan C. But instead, just allowing, and again, creating from that place of power. And the feminine place of power is discovery. It's not something fixed. It's not linear. So really getting in tune with the values of what you want in your life. And a lot of times women that are in the corporate world have isolated themselves, and are really kind of, and so they're in that little belief system of I'm alone. And they're thinking that no one is there for them, but their behaviors are isolating themselves, from keeping them from other people. So it's not really that other people aren't there, but they're not allowing again for other people to be into their life, into their heart, that they're so used to doing it all by themselves. And that's, the thing is, well, I don't need a man. I can do it all. But the fact is, we need each other as people. So really tuning into that and really shifting that mindset of recognizing that we need each other. We started out as little babies. I mean, we've always been helped, and it's our job to help others. So shifting into that mindset and allowing growth, allowing new potential, discovery, grace, and just these really creative elements, instead of the masculine way, and seeing what the potential is, just discovering it, because so many women don't even understand that. Like when you're calling a guy and asking him out, you're setting up the stage for you to be that, be the kind of like, well, to be the masculine energy, right? And then what does that leave the man? What position does that leave? That leaves him to step into the feminine, because there can't be two masculines. If it is, it's going to be a clash, and we do all have masculine and feminine. I'm just so really being aware of what's serving at the best moment. Sure, we have to step into the masculine. It may be at work, getting everything done, right? But but then we can let it go and allow our dates to open the door for us, bring us roses, treat us like the queens we are, right? Instead of saying, I don't need anybody to hold the door open. I've seen that so many times. That's just a beautiful gift. So let's allow it,
Yes. As you were talking, I was thinking about when I met my husband, and I told him, he said, well, we can meet somewhere. We were going out on our first date. And I said, I'm old fashioned. You gonna come get me. I said, I'm old fashioned and I'm from the South. I said, so you gonna come get me, and that set the stage for that, and then, the other thing I told him was, I said, I'm not gonna date you for 20 years, because we're not children, we're not 20 years old. I said, I'm not gonna be your girlfriend forever. I said, so, you got to make a decision if, I'm the person that, you're supposed to be with. I said, I love you. I said, but, this is how that is, so that set that up for, that, because, a lot of women will just, sit around and they'll just, be with the person, and, clearly the man may not have any intentions of marrying them if that's something that they want, because everybody doesn't want that. But for me, like I said, I'm old fashioned. That's how I was married at 19. So I've read studies that said that people that get married young, they're used to being married. And that's why some of them get married over and over and over, because it's just it's like you're programmed, you don't even realize it. So as you deal with these ladies, what is one of the hardest things that you have to overcome with them?
Well, I think the belief that they're not enough, and they're always over giving and trying to prove, and that doesn't leave any space for romance. When you're over giving and you're calling and you're needy, it's not allowing the other person to, it's not respectful to either one of you, because there's no discovery, because it's smothering. So how can there be creativity and discovery if it's smothering and you're always like with each other? And so when you're really your foundation, and so you have yourself and your belief, here I am and I believe I'm not enough, but then that whole thing comes into everything, where you're always proving, and it's not just a 2-dimensional field, it's a 3-dimensional field. So you're always believing I'm not enough, so I've always got to give back, I've got to do more than other people because I'm just not enough. And so that's one of the biggest blocks that we have. So working with ladies, we've got to figure out, what are these blocks? Like, I'm not enough, or I'm always alone, that what we just talked about, the other lady, that, or there's no one out there for me. So what are the blocks, and how can we start to shift? And what is that, that belief of I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable? What is that bringing into your life? What are the behaviors that go along with that? And how can we shift those behaviors? What's the awareness that, working with my clients, they're going to come up with that, we're going to have a good conversation, and I'm not going to say, well, this is what it is. It's the insight that's coming out from their wisdom inside of their soul, and their, so, and that's what's so beautiful to see, see these ladies just really tap into that inner wisdom.
Yes. I think that would be amazing, because it's like, we all have it, we all have it inside of us. And the thing is so many times, just like you said, from a child, that started for you, and so to me, you would have the insight to see that in somebody else, and see, where did this come from? Because sometimes that's what it takes when you are helping people, is finding out what the root of the cause is, instead of just dealing with, the symptoms, because what it is now is symptoms. But finding that out, what was the root, and let's see if we can dig that up, and see if we can, do some inner child healing. Or do you do that?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I think that's really beautiful when we can tap into that inner child. What are her needs? We've just shut down our needs for so long,
Yes.
like I was doing with the pretending. My needs aren't important. What is important is that I lock this guy into a commitment for the
Yes.
rest of his life, and that way I can prove that I'm worthy.
Yes.
Finally, if I
Yes.
lock him in, then I'm done. Everything's
Yes.
going to be okay. But then I'm going to be in a miserable relationship that's probably going to end up in divorce because I just denied who I was and what I
Yes.
wanted. And I had
Yes.
no idea. I mean, I didn't have any idea what I wanted. I didn't have any idea of the values. And what's so important is when we're meeting people is to see how you can, maybe down the future, like if I'm on the first few dates with people, knowing that it's going to take 7 or 8 dates, a lot of times before you feel the chemistry, and wanting to know where can you grow together in this path? Is this person going to be someone that's going to be growing with you? Like my partner, being a musician and the sound journey and the healing, and then my coaching and working together as a team to heal others, so that we've got a big idea, a big concept, and where our foundation isn't coming from desperation but from something solid. So knowing that about these people that you're dating, I mean, how do they fit into your life other than they have beautiful curly hair and blue eyes?
That is, to me, yeah. And then what happens is you go get somebody else with beautiful curly hair and blue eyes, and they're the same person, right? Because this is what you're looking at instead of looking at the heart, and and also valuing yourself. That is huge. That's huge. And that's huge, because that's one thing I can definitely say was a part of my journey as well. I had to learn how to love myself, and took some time to do it. Said, okay, I got to love me, and I got to learn, what do I like and what do I want? Because as women, a lot of times we absorb ourselves in our partners anyway. It's like, all of a sudden everything that they want is the most important, and especially if you deal with a narcissist, they're going to make you feel small anyway, and they're going to make you feel like you're not enough. And then if you're already thinking that you're not enough, it's like a double whammo, right?
Yeah, definitely. And those patterns are just from childhood that we don't even recognize. We're just, it's just normal for us. Like if we grew up with narcissists, that's what normal is, and that's what love is to us until we can see. And that's what's so important. Like with Tammi, you can see different things that that I can't see. We've all got blinders on. So it's really great to have a coach that can help you shift and see from a different, set of eyes. And sometimes you just need to see from the loving angel set of eyes. What would that loving angel say about you? And let's just operate from that for a week. What she would say and what she would do. If you're saying you don't have the capacity, let's ask her what she would do.
Yes. All right, so if there's one thing not in your business or your life that you've been curious about, what would that be?
If there was one thing that I've been curious about?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a very big question.
You want me to share mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the one thing that I'm curious about is, why does everything in the future have to go back to apocalyptic? Like The Walking Dead and the strain and all these things. Why we got to go back to riding horses and stuff?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
So, yeah.
Well, that's funny. Well, I think for me, it would be, I'm thinking about nature and the trees. One big question I always am thinking is like, what are these trees? What are they thinking? What is, are they listening to me? And I know that we've got connections, and I wish I knew more, I wish I could understand more about how they feel about me. The whole universe. I mean, I was watching the trees. We were at this beautiful dances of peace last night, and I saw the trees swaying, and we were in a rose garden. my boyfriend was playing the djembe and we were all dancing. And I thought, here we are in this beautiful rose garden with these beautiful tall trees and just, everything was so verdant.
Nice.
And what are they thinking? I think, I'm sure they're really enjoying this, but I really wish I knew more.
You could always ask them.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I was thanking them. Thank you for being here, with that beauty and the glory. And it's so magnificent because here we are thinking we're alone. My gosh, there's evidence we're not alone. Go outside. The trees, the hummingbirds, the flowers. I mean, those are all gifts. How can we ever say that, we're not enough or that we're, because gifts are just gifts are abounding, they're everywhere. I mean, and we're so blessed, and so how can we ever say we lack? Just go outside,
See, I feel like that about the water. I feel like, I could just go and just be at the water. I am good, as long as I can get to the water. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, I love the ocean, but it could be a lake. It could, well, I was going to say it could almost be a pond. Honestly, I love it when I can get in the bath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's such a healing, such a healing element. And I love that book, The Secret Life of Water. It's so beautiful, and so tranquil. As soon as you hear it and see it, your body's just shifting. And
yes.
Beautiful
it's like
gift,
a serious
right?
energy shifter, and it's I tell people all the time, I said, I miss the water so bad. It's why I moved here, because there's so much water everywhere. I mean, there's lakes everywhere, and there's the ocean, there's the sound, all that, and it's just so beautiful. And I just, I used to tell people when I was younger that I believe that God lived at the water.
That God what?
Lived at the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where when I would go to the beach, seems like that was how I got a better connection. Not that we didn't have a connection before, but it's almost like, it seems like to me when I was younger, that's where I could hear God speak.
That's beautiful. You're really listening to your soul,
Oh yeah. It's like, yeah. All right. So if somebody wanted to work with you, what would be a way that you would connect with them?
Well, I have a ladies group on Facebook, Joy and Fulfillment, Create the Relationship You Deserve. I have Joyful Relationship Coaching page on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. But just send me a message, we can just get clear on what you need in your life. I mean, because really that's what we need is clarity, and working with me would be great if it's a fit. If not, maybe working with Tammi would be a fit, but we have a lot of resources, right? At least let me help you get some clarity on what your next steps are. So, I mean, I would love to offer that to anyone listening, that free Zoom call, have a nice coffee chat, and come away with some wonderful insight.
Yes, that is awesome. That's awesome. All right. So tell the people where they can find you on LinkedIn and all these places. Like, are you Joyful Coaching on everywhere?
Joyful Relationship Coaching on Facebook.
Okay.
And Mariquita Solis on Facebook too.
Okay.
And Joy and Fulfillment, that's the ladies group.
Okay.
On Facebook. So, but yeah, I'm out there. I have mariquitasolis.com, the webpage. Sign up at the little sign up at the link, and we'll get going. We'll have a beautiful chat. I love meeting people. So, I mean, I love talking with you, Tammi, because you got such a beautiful energy.
I know, it's amazing, right? I know. I laugh. I said, we have such a connection, and we had it the first time we talked. I was like, she's amazing. And when I saw that we were doing the interview, I was like, oh yes. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to talk to people that have a beautiful energy. Sometimes you're in your day and you're like, you know what? I need, some beautiful energy. And for me, I don't know if you know a lot about human design, but I recently found out that I was a reflector in human design. And so that makes sense to me now why I need people with beautiful energy. I cannot do toxicity at all on any level. I'm not doing it. And it made sense to me, that's why, because I'm a reflector. I don't have any defined centers. And so, For me, it's like, people that are positive and have beautiful spirits such as yourself, those are the kind of people that I need to be around, and so that was amazing. All right, so we have had such an amazing chat here. If you are looking for help in this area that we've talked about, Mariquita is your girl. She can help you to raise your vibes and get you to a place where you are creating and co-creating your life and stepping into your feminine empowerment. So if that's something that you are looking for, make sure that you connect with her. Her details will also be in the description of the video or the audio, wherever you are watching or listening to it, so you can connect easily with her. But I have had such a pleasure having this conversation. I wish I could talk to her for like 2 more hours. We'll just have to do it again. Maybe for the TV show this time as well. But I'm super excited that she's chosen to come on here on Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi, and just share, a little bit about her life and about her life's mission, because that is what it's all about here, because she is changing the planet. So if you are changing the planet and you want to come on, make sure you send me a message. But we're so grateful that you've joined and that you listened, or that you've watched wherever you are, whatever platform you're watching or listening on. But again, thank you so much for joining. And Mariquita, it's been so fabulous, and I'm so honored that you've chosen to spend these few minutes with us.
Thank you, Tammi.
So
anytime. I love it.
Yep, we'll do it again.
All right.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi.